So Beverly, you've written a short booklet about our Reredos. I think the first question is, what on earth is a Reredos?
A reredos, or a retable, is something that's erected behind the altar, because when churches were first put together, you would have had an altar at the east end of the church, and that's where they go, and the reredos is put behind it, and it shows saints. It can sometimes be just 2 or 3, like in a triptych, but we've got
9.
Yes.
Well, Jesus plus 8.
Yeah, 8.
So when did you first become interested in our Reredos?
I think it first happened years ago when I saw an article that had been written in the church magazine. It was about the saints, and I searched high and low for this article and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I thought, well, perhaps I should look him up myself. So I was sitting there one day at the back of the choir there, and I just thought it spoke to me, the Reredos, and it said, please tell my story.
So how did you go about doing the finding out about the saints? What was your sources?
The internet mainly, some books. There's a lot of stuff on the internet, a lot of information, or secondary sources obviously, and some people think differently to others, so it isn't always easy.
Now you've written the booklet in a very interesting style, because
Yes.
you've written it, as you said, as if the characters are talking to you.
It's quirky.
Now why did you choose that?
Because I felt the Reredos had spoken to me and I wanted to give it a voice. And it's telling its own story, and then it introduces each saint and they tell their story.
Have you been able to find out anything about either when our Reredos was created or who painted it?
I knew the date, but right at the end I managed to find a signature on there. It was put up in 1930 in memory of Nina Annie Robinson, and it was dedicated by her husband, the Reverend J.C. Robinson. And the person that painted it was Gerald Edward Roberts Smith, and he was a master glass painter. So he designed stained glass windows.
And was he local?
Dorset, I think.
Oh right, so not really local.
Yeah,
but
there wasn't much about him.
looking at the saints,
Yes.
it's quite an unusual collection.
It
You've
is.
got St Ethel Berger and St Hilda
Yes.
and St Anne and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. Do you have any idea why these particular people were selected for our Reredos?
Not the women. I mean, obviously the Blessed Virgin Mary, because she was the mother of Jesus. But why Ethel Berger and Hilda were selected, I don't know. But it turns out that Ethel Berger and Hilda are actually loosely related. Anne is the mother of the Blessed Virgin Mary. John the Baptist on the other side, well, he's our patron saint, so obviously you had to go on there. But he's loosely related because, well, he is related because he was a cousin of Jesus. Elizabeth was Mary's cousin. So those 4, 2 were related and 1 was loosely related. And then the 3 on the end, the 3 bishops, they were all local in a loose way, because some were Dorchester. I think one got as far here as Nursling in Southampton. Portchester, I think one came ashore at Portchester.
And when you're sat in church, actually, although you can see their figures, you don't know who they are.
No.
So this hopefully will encourage people to come up and have a proper
That's
good look
what
at
I
them.
wanted from it. That's what I wanted more than anything, was for people to take interest in it and realise what a wonderful thing it is and how beautiful it is. And, you know, I'm hoping that this little book will inform people and give them further interest in it.
The bit that you can see from the back of church is those extraordinary shapes at the bottom, the circles and the segments, which sort of almost reminds you of Trivial Pursuit.
That's
Sure,
what, yes,
you've heard
yes.
that.
I've been told that before.
So does that have any significance?
Yes, it does indeed. For that, you'd need to read the book to find out, but it's actually quite a surprising thing, these circles. They're not what you would think they would be.
Now let's talk about the book itself.
Yes.
Where is it available?
So the booklet will be on sale today, the back of the church. If you miss your copy today, you could get it from the office when they're open. We've decided on a minimum donation of £3. If you wanted to give more, then that's fine, thank you. And the idea is that if we get enough money together, we have the Reredos cleaned.
Beverly, thank you so much for putting all that time and effort into writing that booklet. And I hope people get a huge amount of enjoyment from reading it and finding out a bit more about their church.
So do I. Thank you very much.